Coming up this week, how a university took over a shopping mall, all in a bid to build its brand. We'll hear from some of the most influential women in South African media, all competing in a major competition, and we'll review a new television commercial for an energy drink. Welcome to Mags on Media, 24 hours a day on Facebook, and with clever comments and observations on Twitter when the spirit moves us. Let's start the programme with advertising, and the annual Loeries competition for creative excellence is just around the corner. This past week, a group of judges gathered in Johannesburg. They sharpened their minds and began the long process of review and evaluation. We popped in mid-session and spoke to the various category chairmen, by and large all complimentary of the work they'd seen so far.
Yeah, I mean, I was surprised with a very high level of radio in South Africa, especially because it's one country. The level of ideas, the level of craft, and also the production values. You could see that there is some attention in radio.
As far as the television side was concerned, did you have a chance to scope where your
stuff? As an advance.
Young guys. If you it's not new
of the big idea.
gender.
Identity.
But what I don't think is that you need to be a PR specialist in order to be able to judge PR.
Matt, what actually does a jury chairperson do? Are you there to crack the whip or simply find consensus?
I would like to think that I do the latter rather than the former, but ultimately I think what you have to do is be a catalyst to ensure robust debate and to make sure that every entry is given its due. So it's really to make sure that the jury operates well as a jury, that everyone is heard, and that the right decisions are made on the day.
Live events also comprises the category that you're judging. In terms of brand building, just how important has it become?
Well, I think it's hugely important, and I think increasingly so. I mean, what we're seeing year on year is fragmentation of media, and we're seeing a real change in how TV is being used. Even online, we're seeing a huge fragmentation there. A lot of people get very excited about social media, and that's not going to go away. But in terms of actual live events, the ability to actually engage people around what's happening in the real world, it's huge.
Worldwide, in terms of sponsorship, we know there has been a pullback in budgets. I'm assuming that makes things a little more difficult to judge.
I think in some ways it actually makes it more exciting, because what we're looking at is entries where there are less budgets. And I tend to think with sponsorship, but this goes across all of the live events category, I think it's not about the size of the budget. I think it's about what you do with it, right? It all comes down to innovation.
Are you seeing a unique South African approach in the print category?
No, that's the problem, I think, with print around the world right now. It's trying to find its feet. You know, it's in a strange place because of the way the technology is moving and everything. I mean, with tablet devices and everything, why would you really do a print ad?
The sense one gets is that print advertising is dead. Has it been completely eclipsed by technology?
I don't think it's going to die. I think what's going to happen to print is going to have to evolve into something else. I think it's going to be slightly different in nature. I think there'll always be a space in a magazine for a print ad of some sort, but I'm just not sure it's going to be what it is now. You know?
You've worked in India. Could you draw some comparisons for us between advertising in two developing economies?
In both markets, I think there's a need for clients to sort of appeal to the lowest common denominator, where they think that sort of ideas won't be sort of doing idea-based advertising as opposed to doing laundry list advertising. So they'd rather go for the laundry list advertising because they feel they can get more mass appeal.
From a lot of the work tends to be about the progress of South Africa or Africa.
Many judges that we've spoken to bring up this idea or this notion of the simple idea. What's wrong with a complicated idea?
There's nothing wrong with a complicated idea as long as you can get to the idea.
Yeah.
The reason why people like a simple idea is because in the end the best ideas generally are that simple, that somebody has taken something that could have been a complicated subject and just flipped it in a way that you just didn't see before. And I think it's because they're simple that they have the biggest strength, they're more potent, because it's just like, of course, you know, why didn't I think of that?
So those are the views of the judges. Here's a question for you. Do you believe that awards make any difference in advertising, or are they just a massive pat on the back for an industry with an overinflated collective ego? You can let rip on our Facebook page on this address. And coming up on the programme, the power of the flash mob and how a Port Elizabeth shopping mall was taken by surprise.